Justin Gatlin is the latest in a long line of sprint sensations to emerge from the USA.
Gatlin got a good start. Look at this man coming through now. Gatlin. What a fantastic performance from Gatlin. It's all about Gatlin.
Ultimate goal is to be one of the best sprinters in history.
And what a fantastic performance from Gatlin. And look at the time.
It's the American leading the Jamaican at the moment.
He knows he is the world champion.
Justin Gatlin is the world champion here in London.
What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Ready, Set, Go. We in the building, man. And you know who's over here with me, man? The bearded wonder himself. What up, man? What's good?
Hey, man, chilling, man. Made it through this Hurricane Milton. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the hurricane down there, man.
Yeah, man.
How was that like? You hunkered down, didn't you?
Man, we hunkered down, man. We didn't leave, man. You know, we had to stay here, protect the family, you know, board up the house or whatever. We fared through pretty well. Some of the city didn't fare out as well as we did, but you know, we thank God for, you know, we ain't had any deaths around the area or anything like that. So we thank God for that.
Man, look, listen, man. That's one thing about Florida I do not miss is when it gets hit by a hurricane. It's like post-apocalyptic after the hurricane happens. Like there ain't no gas.
No.
Certain places don't got no electricity.
No.
I remember when we were living in Claremont and it was only one thing open, Pizza Hut. And the line for Pizza Hut, just people getting pizza was ridiculous, dog. Like, it's like survival of the fittest out there after the hurricane hits, boy. So
listen, I went to the gas station. It's this dude before I tried to fill up our cars with the gas. It's this dude, man. He had like these 4 55-gallon drums on the back of a trailer, bro. And I was like, bro, that can't even be, that's not even legal. Like, how's that fair? Like, he filled up his truck, then he continued to fill up them 55-gallon barrels.
He about to take all the gas, dog.
He did not care. He's like, yeah, man, I got stabilizer at the crib, man. You know, I got a bunker. I said, he one of them dudes, I got to find out where he stay in case something happen.
Boy,
so
man. Listen.
I'm pretty sure he got guns, too.
But that's the thing in Florida, boy. People be waiting in line, looking through their car mirror like, hold on, man. This man over here taking all the gas. What's going on, dog?
And the line was long as hell, bro. I'm talking like a line long, like you at TSA waiting for a flight that's about to take off in 5 minutes. It was crazy.
Man. That is crazy.
Lines are super long.
I feel like experiencing hurricanes as a kid was way different from experiencing hurricanes as an adult. Because as a kid, we had to worry about anything. You know what I mean? And we was cool with the lights being out, not being in school, all that kind of stuff like that. But as an adult, it's stressful, dog. It's so stressful.
No, that's a real Floridian. Because Floridians don't take the hurricane serious. They out there making Michael Jackson videos, Earth songs, what about us? They don't even care. They out there, it's like, yeah, they real Floridians. But the people who are not Floridians, they fled Florida.
Oh, yeah,
those people that came down, they're like, yeah, we gonna drive to Atlanta. I was like, yeah, y'all don't live in Florida for real.
For sure.
Y'all don't live.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
We made it through. We made it through though, man. So we good, man. The roads are now starting to get cleaned up. Everybody's starting to get their power back. So, you know, thank God for that.
That's what's up, man. For sure. Let's get to it, man. Since you have dodged Hurricane Milton, we can get this show popping.
Yeah, man. So what we gonna do for our fans today, man? We want to thank everybody for tuning in for us. You know what I mean? Tuning in with us. You know, we're gonna get right into it, man. We're gonna talk about some of our medalists for the sprints going into next season. What we could expect for them and what we think is going to happen. Make sure to know that these are only opinions. These are based on our opinions and what we think. You know, doesn't have to be 100% truth, but after I said that, let's get into it, man. We have our medalists from the male 100 meters, man. We have gold medalist Noah Lyles, silver medalist Kishane Thompson, and Fred Kerley, our bronze medalist. Who has the most upside? Who do we think is going to back up that medal or those medals or even change the color of their medal going into Worlds of next year?
Shoo. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, because you got to take in consideration what is Noah's game plan going next year. Is he going to focus more on the 100 or is he going to go back to his baby, which is the 200, right? Because if that's the case, I feel like he goes back to his baby in the 200, it's going to slack for his 100. Not saying he won't be a real top competitor for the 100 meters at World Championships, but I think that most of his focus and energy would go back to the 200. For Kishane, I think he has the best uptick right now. And why I say it's because he, leading up from the Jamaican trials through the Olympics, he looked like an unbeatable guy, And getting to Olympics, I think it was a situation that happened to where, your toughest opponent isn't near you and you are only fixated on running against the athletes that are next to you, which you do beat. But that guy on the outside that you were worried about, that you couldn't see, there was a reason why you was worried about it. And he took the gold, right? So I think for him, it's going to be more of a learning curve. But for the physical aspect of things, I think he's ahead of the game right now, for sure. Fred's a dog. You don't know what Fred going to come with. Fred come out there and be saying, you know what, I'm going to run the 400 this year and go out there and be one of the top 400-meter runners. So if he sticks into the 100 meters, watching how he progressed this season with the lack of traditional training that he had, like, he going to be a monster. He ended the season with a 981, and that wasn't with a lot of heavy speed training, a lot of conditioning like he normally would do, and him with a flawed race. Even he said it. He had a flawed race. So it's looking like it's going to be a big clash for the World Championships. I don't think it's going to be a clear favorite as of right now. What's your thoughts?
So I'm going to throw a little monkey wrench in there, man. Who you think going to be the newcomer? There's always a newcomer that may throw it off. It could be a newcomer from that sprint group, or it could be a new riser from either the collegiate scene or somebody who was just disappointed from the semifinal that rise from the Olympics. Like, they just was that disappointed. They go into their fall season and they just dig deep.
I think the newcomer that is going to be a little more consistent this season, who kind of fell off towards the end of the season, is actually going to be Courtney Lindsay. I think because he started the season nice. He started off with a 1971, and then he had a pretty good 100. His relay races were very nice, very clean, had good starts, and he seemed like the kind of person that was primed. We had him picked. I think I at least had him picked to be able to make, the Olympic team. So not making the Olympic team was actually a shock for me in a way. So I think next year he's going to be a little more acclimated to what his system is over there at Star Athletics. We're going to see a different kind of runner. I think he's got a lot more confidence. He sees what the game is, how track and field set up on a European and an international platform. So I think he's going to be more comfortable in that way.
I definitely think you're right on Noah. I think Noah goes back to the 200. He's going to want to defend that title. You know what I mean? He says, or his mom said before, that's his wife, right? And, that's his baby. He's going to go back to the 200 and try to conquer that 200 and win that 200 to prove his dominance in that event, which is the event he loves. I don't think he's going to slack off in the 100, but I think the person who you said, I definitely agree with the second, Kishane. I mean, you watch Kishane the year before, he ended the season with 985. He didn't continue to run this year. I don't know what were the issues. There were rumors that he was injured, but he would have ended his season around 979. You know what I mean? 2 9.7s that he would have clipped off in the year. Meaning, going into this year, I think he has a lot more experience, especially on a bigger stage. It could prove for him not being that gold medalist to come into his real dominance. You know what I mean? I can see him being a real dominant sprinter, like somebody to be reckoned with, based on how he ran this year and the previous year before. But now everybody's looking at him. How does he adapt with all the eyes on him now? Like, everybody's looking at Kishane. You know what I mean? It's easy when nobody is expecting you to do much, but now there's going to be a high expectation from himself, from his coaches, and from Jamaica, as we so know.
So,
Boogeyman.
So I got a question though. I'll let you finish. Go ahead. Hit me with the boogeyman.
Boogeyman Fred. Boogeyman Fred. I think Fred has the most to not really care about, because he's been a gold medalist at the World Championship before. It's something that he's not foreign to. He's ran 9.76 before. He's ran 9.7 a few times. And he says that his ankle is feeling a lot better. Him running 1981 in the 200, that is really, really, really impressive for Fred going into the next year. You know what I mean? He seems to have his confidence back. So, yeah, we'll see. Now, as far as newcomers, I don't see a newcomer, but I see someone of old possibly that can make that upset, and that's Akeem Simbini. You know what I mean? I think Simbini, he could upset the podium this time. You know what I mean? He ran a national record. I think he's tied at that fourth place finish. I think he talks to his coach, or he goes a little bit deeper, and he's going to figure out on how to make the medal stand this time.
So that gives me two questions now. All right.
Cool.
So with Simbine, we know that Simbine's South African athlete, right? So that means his season is different from our season.
100%.
If he doesn't already, do you think it's in his best favor to maybe back his season up to where it's aligning to our traditional season, which really the world is on? What are your thoughts on that? Because it seems like we get the best of Simbini maybe a month leading up to whatever championship, and then we want to see that same Simbini peak and show that same effort at the championship. But it seems like I've seen that through the season where it's like he has that shot, he drops a really hot time, a really good time, but it's like almost a couple of weeks before he needed it, like at a championship. What's your thoughts?
I think he does. I think he's going to do a little bit more of a change to try to sustain those faster times later in the year. I think it won't be as important for him to win his national trials. Like, it's going to just be in his interest to make the team. So if he gets second and make the team, he's fine with that. You know what I mean? He'll just train through it, go through his trials, because I think their trials is something like maybe February or March or something like that. It's like super early.
Yeah.
Like, it's something way early. Just make the team, and then he'll continue with his season. You know what I mean? I think that'll be in his best interest. So even if he doesn't win, it wouldn't matter to him, because he wins mostly all the time. But that national champion won't matter to him as more, because now the medal stand, it means more. You know, everybody's not going to remember the national champion of South Africa. They'll remember if he's a gold, silver, or bronze medalist for South Africa.
Very true. I get that. So my question is, I think Noah is in a very, he's definitely at a fork in the road. And why I say that is because now being the Olympic gold medalist in 100, being multi-time world champion in the 200, he's seen the success on both sides. He's ran 19.3, he's ran 9.7. Do you think that it's going to be easy for him to be able to kind of walk that rope to where he now is focused on both equally? Like, he's out there running the 100 at that pace, but also running 200s close to that pace as well? Because it seems like him focusing this year, he had more of a rival with Kishane, in 100, compared to having the rivalry we used to him having, like with a DeGrasse or like a Kenny or even a Taboho. That's going to be a tall order. That's going to be a tall order to be able to battle on both sides. And now also you have some of these guys who kind of go from the 100 meters over to the 200 meters just like he does, but they don't have to. You know what I mean? Now they can say, you know what, let me go ahead and get this 200 meter title. Let me just focus on the 200 this year.
I think Noah's not really. If he stays the course and doesn't talk about this 400 world record and stays away from that, I think Noah's more so about like chasing retired athletes. And when I say retired athletes, and one of them is not retired, the retired athletes would be the top 5, Usain Bolt, Asafa. He's looking to get the American record within the 100. And he's looking to try to get the world record in the 200. So if his concentration areas are in these two, he had a fair shot at it last year to try and see in both years what he can do. And I think they go back and fine tune it to where he can come back and try to be a Triple Crown champion again at the World Championships, which will definitely set him up to be in the air of top 5 dead or alive, man. Like you can't. It'll be kind of once he gets the Triple Crown again, it's kind of hard to not put him in that area. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that his goal, or one of his goals, would be, since he has an American record in 200, go after the American record in 100.
Why not? He's always looking for icon status, and for him to be icon status, he has to be either number 1 in his country or number 1. Period. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he's chasing. He's chasing legacy. I mean, every time you see when he's talking about something, he's talking about a world record or a record that he wants to break. He's not talking about competing against people. He's competing against the clock.
True. I mean, that's always the level you want to get at as an elite sprinter. You always want to get to a point where you feel like your opponents aren't really your main opponent. You want to make sure that you're racing against time. You're racing against effort. You're racing against, your destiny, perfection, those kind of things, because that's where the focus is really going to lie. I remember being in such a in-state shape, like I didn't worry about the other athletes around me. I was just focusing on my race, my lane, my time, my drills, my race pattern, my angles. I was focused on all those kind of things, and that's what really kept me dialed in. Once I didn't focus on the people around me so much, I was able to hit different levels. So that'd be a good thing for him if he does that.
So, but the difference between that time of you now and him, Noah has maybe 4 or 5 guys that could stop him from doing that.
Yeah,
he has about 4 or 5 guys in his way.
Yeah,
it's not 1 or 2. It's about 4 or 5 guys that could put a stop to him doing that. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be an easy task for him. And being that he is already not the 200-meter Olympic champion, you know what I mean? Can he come back and get that triple gold and the 200 from that young man Taboho? You know what I mean? In which there will be more formidable opponents in this next 200 if they stay healthy. I.e., you have a few people that were injured that wasn't able to run their premier race. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to at the Olympics because of like injuries here and there.
Yeah. Yeah. With that being said, since we are speaking on Noah and what his plans are, he had a couple of other plans that he has set up that has just dropped this week. We have a race, a battle that 100%. Is going to ensue with Mr. Tyreek Hill, the fastest man in football.
It is happening.
It is happening. This is now, at least what the reports say, Noah has physically signed up for this. We have a verbal confirmation from Tyreek that he is about to do this. We don't know distance, everybody. We don't know where it's going to be at yet. We just know the fact of both sides have given each other the nod that they are going to participate. So what you see about this? What do you think the outcome is going to be? How is it going to be beneficial not only for each athlete, but what is it going to do for sports, football, or track and field, or anything else that people are watching and thinking?
I think it definitely brings a lot more eyes to track and field. I think it'll be better for track and field. Football is the number 1 viewed athletic presentation in the world. You know what I mean? So ain't too much it could do for that. I could honestly say it would do more for the sport of track and field, us showcasing how fast, the fastest or one of the fastest men in the world are in our sport. Now, if they race farther than 50 meters, if they race 50 meters, Tyreek doesn't have, I don't think he has a chance.
You say if they race 50 meters, he doesn't have a chance?
He doesn't have a chance, no. No. If they race for Tyreek, the real deal have a chance. To me, you know what I mean? This is an opinion. I feel like it has to be somewhere around 30 meters.
30 meters?
30 meters, bro.
Boy, that is the shortest race ever in life, dog. Who gonna sign up for that? Who gonna watch that?
I mean, that's
a real short track.
But you got to look at it, right? I mean, the last time Tyreek has ran a real 60 meters, I know they're not going to run 100 meters. Tyreek's not silly. He's not going to say 100 meters against a 9.7 guy. That's just not smart, right? Last time he ran the 60 meters, he ran 6.72, right? Last year, when Noah ran the 60, he ran what, 6.42, 6.43, something like that?
That wasn't even a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't even a year ago.
Uh-huh.
So when you reel it down, even if you dial it 10 meters back, that means Noah's going through 50 meters at what? A whole 540, 532, something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not even, so he would even have to, I wouldn't even do it at 40 meters because that would be a stretch for Tyreek. You know what I mean? 30 meters would be his sweet spot. He plays the game in 10-yard increments, correct? You know what I mean? If we go 40 yards is what, 36 meters? You know what I mean? He's not going to beat Noah in 40 yards either. When you reel it down and you say 36 meters for Noah at 6.42 or 6.43, Noah's still coming through at what, 4.17, 4.19?
Mm-hmm.
At 36 meters? No, bro. No, we not. That's not smart for him. So that's why you got to dial it back another 10 meters. and that would give him a real chance. When we look at the numbers, you know what I mean? When you dial it up with the numbers.
I'll be interested to see exactly the distance on this. I definitely don't think that he's going to sign up for 30 meters. It has to be longer than 30
If he signs up for 60,
he definitely shouldn't sign up for 60 either, for sure.
He should sign up as
I think he has a safe bet in the 50-meter range. I think.
Yeah, try to do 50. If you do 40, I still think he loses because it ain't even 40 yards. Like 40 meters is still an L for him.
Well, this is what I think because I'm predicting that this is not going to be in the prime of track season, right? So we're looking at the fact of how sharp is Noah going to be, right? We know Noah is a little inconsistent with his start, his angles exiting the blocks. We know that the best part of his race is always the second half of the race. So the best advantage that Tyreek has coming into this is catching Noah not at his sharpness.
See,
not at his best.
You're talking about Noah racing against people of his caliber. Tyreek is not of his caliber, bro. We ain't gonna do that.
I understand. I'm over here playing devil advocate here. I'm saying the fact of
I got you.
For the people out there who say I don't think Noah's going to win, I'm saying the reason why maybe Noah would not win is the fact of timing of the season, where he's at with his track training. Is he going to be rusty? Is he going to be ready? Like, what does that look like for him? I think that's going to be where the question mark lies. Not stride for stride, not where you're going to come at, what number you're going to come through at 30 meters. Anything after 30, like, I really think that it's going to all fall on who's in the best shape at that moment when it comes to running and make sure that they're technically sound. Because if they make it even to where it's like 45 meters, it might be a race. But Noah's ready. We know Noah's going to be ready.
I guarantee you this race is going to take place in March. Reason being, Super Bowl will be in February. The Miami Dolphins will be done with their season in February, January. It gives Tyreek time to train. It's going to be in March. 9 times out of 10, Noah's not going to do indoor this year. He's going to use this for a prep race to burn like practice. That's what he's going to use this for. It's going to be sometime in March, prepping for April to get ready for May. You know what I mean? That's exactly. So I guarantee this race is in 2025. It'll take place somewhere in March or April.
Where's it going to be held at? They're both in Florida. That's where we're doing it.
Yeah, shoot, why not? Why not? Why? You know
Madison Square Garden. We need a real Rumble, dog. That's what we need.
They could do that. They could do it in Boston. They could do it. I like that New Balance Stadium in Boston. They could do it there. Yeah, I mean, it has a good stands. You know, it got the hydraulic floor. You could get the cameras and, you know what I mean, everything. And they can make it a whole event. You know what I mean? I like that. You know what I mean? You could do the Armory. You know what I mean? You could do Madison Square Garden.
Listen,
right.
bro, that is going to be some nasty work, dog. Like, that's going to be
man.
The pressure of being at the starting line with a group of other athletes and then realizing that you starting line with one other athlete. And really, this is coming down to the fact of real win or loss. Like, I won, you lost kind of thing. This reminds me of the Donovan Bailey, Michael Johnson 150-meter showdown race. Like, it brings a whole different pressure, bro. A whole different kind of pressure, man. Like,
it do. And people can talk that talk when they, I mean, I seen Tyreek, man. Tyreek talk that talk. But when he get back, he gonna realize, you know what? I'm running against a real track and field runner. Yeah, I mean, so it ain't like you running against your own boys or, yeah, I mean, so it's gonna be different for him, man.
Well,
we'll see. I like that.
We'll see what happens then. In other news, also in Noah news, Noah popped the question, man. Noah popped the question to his girl, man.
He loved that girl, Janelle, man. Congratulations to them, man.
Congratulations. Here.
Congratulations to them. Here, man. Shoot. They gonna go ahead and tie that knot, and you know what I mean? I'm glad. They love each other, man. I see how they go through their Instagram, you know, happy for them. Yeah, I mean, happy for them.
That's cool, man. I mean, because at the age you are, when you're running, you want to make sure you have the most focus. And you want to make sure you keep the people out of your life that's going to distract you from achieving your goals. So it looks like it's the opposite for them. Like, she helps bring a sense of like calmness to him, you know, so he can go out there and stay focused on what he has to do. So I'm happy for him, man. Congratulations for y'all, for sure.
Yeah, I hope that working vice versa for them, you know, because she's an athlete too.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, she's not a supporting cast of, yeah, I'm gonna just be here to cook your meals. She's definitely an athlete too. So, you know, hopefully vice versa, it works in both ways.
For sure.
100 meters for the women. We have gold medalists.
Julian Alford.
Boy, that slipped me for the 2 seconds.
Julian Alford.
Sha'Carri Richardson, and we have Melissa Jefferson. Who has the highest upswing? Or are we looking at the domination of, or the continuance of her trying to dominate the 100 meters for Julian Alfred? You know what I mean?
I think right now she does have the biggest upswing in this situation, because she's a true dual threat too. You know what I mean? She can run the 200 very well, you know? I've watched the progression of her from college and how she dominated in that realm. And then she went on to professional. And what I saw was a very traditional acclimation to the professional world. She knew what she was dealing with in the NCAA world. Now, when she came over here, she still had a really good breakout season, and it fared very well. And I think going into her sophomore season, she understood what she needed to get done. And she had some things that wasn't checked off on her list from the first season, and she needed to get back and get them done. She was disappointed. She even said it. She was disappointed in herself for the first rookie season, and she needed to make sure she corrected that. And she did, obviously coming away with the Olympic gold medal. And to be able to do it in that grand fashion, all I see is a trend going up, you know? And with a coach like Flo, you know, Flo don't like to lose. But the same thing over there in the Claremont camp at Star Athletics. You got the silver medalists and the bronze medalists who train together. So now, whatever frustrations that they may have, whatever things they feel they left on the table in the 2024 season, now they have the opportunity to iron sharpen iron again, and to be able to get back out there and make things happen. But it's going to be a battle, because I really feel like this right here, this 100 meters is going to be a lot of wild cards in 2025 that's going to start popping up.
I do believe so too. I still think we haven't seen the full potential of Sha'Carri Richardson. Yeah, I mean, even being that, Julian Alfred ran 10.72, we've seen Sha'Carri run times that are faster than that, whether it be her slowing down or waving her hands. But I think the person that has a lot more upswing or a lot more in the tank is Melissa Jefferson. I like to see her run a lot more 200s. She didn't run any 200s this year. You know what I mean? From what I hear, she had issues in the beginning in her year, you know what I mean, physically, and then she came along to do what she did. So I definitely think that she has the highest upswing, being that she's gotten the bronze medal and, she's got a taste. She wants to come back. Yeah, she's like, yeah, now I feel like I belong, and now I want to continue to show the world what I can do. But to shake things up like we did in the 100, the newcomer or the old comer, I feel like that person that's going to upset that medal stand is Dina Asher-Smith. I think, listen, the way she closed out her 2024 year, I really think that this next year coming on, like everybody know, like when you train with a coach, that second year, when you understand the expectations of the coach and what you want to do or what you need to do to get better, you attack things a whole lot different and a whole lot better than the year before. And I think that we see a lot more better things out of Dina Asher-Smith coming into the World Championship year.
I agree with you 100%. And why I say that is because you take an athlete, a British athlete who's used to being in that environment and moving them all the way to Texas, which is almost a total opposite of the UK. Weather-wise, culture-wise, traditions, everything. And now she had to get acclimated to the Texas heat, get acclimated to different cultures, eating different kind of foods. And I think being also trained by a whole different coach. So this year didn't start out the way she wanted to, but you could start to see her kind of like flow into herself and really start to get the groove of where she needs to be as an athlete towards the end of her season, like you said. So I think she really has a big uptick for next year. I think she's going to be ready. Flo that kind of coach. That's why they say Flo knows. Flo get in your head, and the next thing you know, you out there trying to kill everybody.
Now, I don't know how true this rumor is, but for everybody we just named, it could be a problem for everybody that we just said. But I am under the impression there is a rumor that Shelly-Ann went back to Frano and that Elaine went back to Frano. And we all know that's where Sharika at. Those three might have a problem with what we just said and may shake things up a lot. So I don't know. Even if they didn't go back to Frano, those three are experienced enough to know what their bodies can do when the timing's right to prove themselves when need be. So, with that being said, I can't only just name Dina Asher-Smith. Those are my three honorable mentions. And we all know Shelly-Ann is the world championship queen.
So what you trying to tell me? You trying to tell me that the band's getting back together? The band's getting back together?
Boy, Destiny Child getting back together.
Man, what? Look, that would be they'll be out there forming like Voltron if that happened. But that'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
I don't know if it's true though. There's rumors through the grapevine all over there. Allegedly, that's what's happening. And if that's the case, if anybody could bring, I mean, we seen what Shelly-Ann did last year. I don't think it was too much of an injuries going on with her, but I mean, she could have upset that medal stand. We both saw if she stayed through the round. She could have upset that medal stand.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I mean, that would be a really good look. I feel like that right there needs to be a documentary itself. Like watching all these ladies and Frano come back together for a special year in 2025. It might be some of their last hurrahs. And like to really like watch them like train hard like they ever trained before. Because you realize like the the clash between Shelly and Elaine birthed a level of female sprinting in our sport that we haven't seen in years across the board. Now we have our one-offs. We'll have, our, Carmelitas who will go out there and run a 10.6. You have your Karan Stewarts who will go out there and run 10.7s. Your Veronica Campbells who can run 10.7s. But to really have three females who could go out there and do it all together and were in the same camp was unheard of. That's like all the stars aligning. And then you watched Shelly Ann or Elaine go out and run, drop all the way down to 10.7s. And then they battle at 10.6s. Shelly Ann ran 10.6. And then now Elaine ran 10.5. And now Sharika come along and run 10.6. So it's like, it's a slugfest, bro. It's a slugfest. And that's what I want to see. I'd love to see these ladies get back at it. The ones who are injured, come back healthy and strong. But see them go at it again like that, that was one in the books for me, man, for sure.
True. Men's 200. We talked about a little bit about it already. We have Taboho, we have Kenny Bernard, and we have Noah Lyles. Who do we see defending that medal, and who do we see upsetting that medal stand?
You about to start off with this one. What you got?
Man, people ain't gonna like this. I don't got Noah beating Taboho, bro. I don't. I mean, if Taboho does the 2-4 double, yeah, it ain't happening.
Too much speed endurance.
Yeah, that last 50 meters, how that boy closed. I mean, he's ran on a consistent level under 19.4, 19.5. And if he was listening to anything that Noah said, that if he turns any more or changes his form any more to a pro sprinter, he would put Noah on notice. Listen, I don't think that interview happened before the Olympic final. I think he put Noah on notice when he won that gold medal. So I think Noah notices. Kenny Bernard wants a gold, man. I think he's going to be relentless, like coming into next year. Like that's no joke. Like the look on his face, like he's happy with silver, but he's not happy with silver. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You know what I mean?
When you look at it from 50 feet up, you know what I'm saying, 500 feet up, you were like, okay, cool. I'm happy that I've got 2 Olympic gold medals, 2 Olympics back-to-back where I've come and become the second fastest man. But at the same time, like you said, he ain't happy with that because he training to get that gold. That's his goal.
100%. But a person who I think could upset that 3 from the Olympics, Alexander Oregando.
Oh, whoa, bro. Whoa, hold on, bro. You remembered a name, the
I
whole
remember
name,
this
bro?
thing. Yeah.
That's crazy. You didn't even prep yourself before this. Like you
did
like,
it. Yeah, I think, listen, he has been very consistent. And usually when somebody's that consistent throughout the year, they make a statement the next year. This has been his most consistent year under 20 seconds. He's been under 20, 99, 98, 99, 98, 99, 98. He is coming. He is coming. So I think that he is that newcomer that, we possibly could see, you know what I mean, shake things up. But it could be anybody, but that's just my pick who I think.
I gotta agree with you on that one, man. Watching Alex compete towards the end of the season, especially one of those races where he barely lost. I was like, whoa. I was like, hold on, what's going on here? Like, he really stepping up to the plate, So watching him this season and seeing where it's gonna take him and knowing that who his coach is, like Felix don't like to lose, bro. Felix don't like to lose. And he going to be that kind of guy that's really going to say, all right, we did great this year, but we ain't done. 2025, we about to drop into those 19.7s. We're going to come rock with them in the 19.6s.
Yeah, man. Shoot. So we definitely going to wait to see what transpires with that one. But even another one that we can go to, shoot. My honorable mention might be Arian, man. Arian Knighton. Arian Knighton might put it together, boy. I mean, 2 4th-place finishes and 2 Olympics. You know what I mean? You know, and he's a young kid. Like, people don't realize how young he is. He coming to his own next year. You know, he could be that honorable mention on next year.
I mean, I see no issue with that. I've been waiting for him since he dropped that 19.4 or that one his first race out a couple years back. I was like, we need to see more of that Arian. Like, I want to see that Arian step up to the plate a little more consistently and travel around the world doing that same thing. So I would like to say he's an honorable mention as well. So let's see what happens.
So now we got our women's 200-meter final. We got Gabby Thomas. We got Julian Alfred. And who's the next one? Brittany Brown, boy. You know Britt. You know I don't pick Britt. That's Britt Brat.
Britt Brat.
And BB, Evie, you know I'm a Brittany Brown fan.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
definitely.
Brittany Brown fan, man. I think Brittany obviously to me has the highest upswing. All right. Gabby's gonna do what she does. But once again, them Jamaicans. Needless to say, all 3 of them. I mean, they could upset all 3 of them could upset the medalist. Yeah, I mean,
they have the capabilities of doing so.
They do. So Sharika, Elaine, and Shelly Ann, you know what I mean? Shoot, as well as you know, you throw Dina in there, you know, somebody else who could upset that medal stand for their, you know what I mean? Like, that'll be crazy. Like, Gabby's gonna do what she does. World champion with a healthy Sharika Jackson next year. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. Sharika's very impressive to me, man. Like, just like once you go over her resume from the 1, the 2, and the 4, like Shelly Ann and Elaine, their resume is impeccable for the 1 and the 2. But the 1, the 2, and the 4 run, like, she is definitely one of the best all-around sprinters, female-wise, ever. You know what I mean? Yeah, ever. You know what I mean? So that right there, with the 200 meeting right in the middle, you know what I mean?
That's that showdown I want to see. I want to see that Sharika Gabby showdown.
I definitely want to see that. Which will definitely be good for next year. I think she took a lot of time off. She definitely get healed up and see how that happens. But I mean, let's not forget, man, a healthy Elaine is a hell of a 200-meter runner. She ain't no slump. She ain't no slump. Her last 200 with Frano was an amazing 200, man, and what she ran. So, when she was being coached under him. So, if she's back with him, God knows we'll see what happens, man. Like that could be even more epic battle. But Brittany Brown still makes the medal stand. A healthy Brittany Brown. I'm with that. I'm a Brittany fan, man. I'm a Brittany fan. So yeah.
She a fighter, dog. She had an amazing season. I would say that just because of how everything went, from where she came from to where she ended up at, she has the biggest upswing too. You know, Brittany had an amazing season. I would say even a dream season. You know, to be able to go out there where you start your season off with complaining about you getting put on the outside lane. Just now, when you start winning, you make the Olympic team from the Olympic trials. Then you get a medal at the Olympics. Then you go on to win it big for the Diamond Leagues, but also Athlos. Like, she had a great season. She just needs to keep that going.
Yeah, man. She definitely need to contact a financial advisor. She made a lot of money.
Facts, for real.
She made a lot of money. I mean, you know, and she signed with a new company this year too. So, you know, she's a Nike athlete now. She was Adidas. So yeah, she's due. I'm pretty sure she made all the time bonuses too.
Oh, wait, and she won the Diamond League finals. So yeah, she signed,
did good,
and she already reaping the benefits from her contract for real.
Yeah, she did good. She did good.
She did good. I talked to her sister after Aflos. His sister was like, "Yeah, we about to go turn up." I'm like, "Well needed. Y'all did your thing for sure."
Yeah, man. That men's 400. Men's 400, man. I don't think the men's 400 still blows my mind, man. That fifth place was 43.
Yeah.
Fifth place. I was impressed in 2015 when third place was 43. But I didn't think anything could change with fifth place being 43. You know, you have Quincy. You have silver medalist Matthew Hudson Smith, who just got married, by the way. You know,
congrats, Matt.
He married his beautiful fiance. What's the other guy's name? Like, see, got to help me on this one.
Oh,
he's from Africa.
Oh.
Look it up for me. I forgot his name. Well, I forgot this name that quick. Well, I got it though. I'm gonna give it to you right now. Hold on 1 second. Forgive me, sir. His name is Muzala Samakonga. I hope I said it right. From Zambia.
Come on, man. You got to get Zambia right, baby.
Zambia. Yeah. That this was his first medal. I like that he had this success. You know what I mean? I like to see him continue. He continued running throughout the year, but he wasn't as consistent as he was at the Olympic stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Hudson had the best year. He had a dream year. I mean, he probably ran the most sub-44s of his life, man. He has more European records, national records, and everything else than anybody could ask for. You know what I mean? He had the season of his life, and he capped it off and got his real championship ring when he got married, right?
Yeah.
But Quincy definitely has the highest upswing. I mean, you wouldn't even have to say he's a dog. Like, the internet has him as a real dog. Like, so I would have loved to see, like, him run a few races after the Olympics. That didn't need to be, but I would have wanted to see, like, how he measured up after the Olympics, after that win. But, you know what I mean? We'll see what that goes into next year. But I think somebody that upsets that medal stand is Trinidad and Tobago. Jareem Rich, man. Jareem Richards.
Listen, can you imagine that you go through your whole career, right? And you like, no, I'm a 200-meter runner. I'm a 200-meter runner. I'm a 200-meter runner. And then you get ready for one season, right? And you start running the 400. And then all of a sudden you end your season with a 43. Like, you're real bona fide. You in the finals of the Olympics of the 400 meters. And you pretty much you was in contention for being in the medal stand. He just missed off from being on the medal stand. But he was known to always be a 200-meter runner. Like, like, now I feel like he has a whole new other career. Like, he's like, oh, man, hold on, man. I can do this 400 for real.
Listen, he going to be in all the Diamond League. He going to drop down and be like, yeah, I'm going to do the 2. He going to jump up and be like, yeah, I'm going to do the 4. You know what I mean? he could be in all of them.
He out there wheeling and dealing, huh?
Yeah, he could be out there wheeling and dealing, because now, you know, the first one, he told them, yeah, I can run the 4. You know, before he ran the little 44-0, they was like, I don't know, you know what I mean? You kind of, but now after this, hey, it's undeniable. They like, hey, man, 400-meter finalist, 4th place finish, 43. Hey, you win. Whatever you want. Which lane you want?
Exactly.
So, yeah, man. But I think, but I might sound a little biased. My honorable mention is Stephen Gardner. I'm so sorry.
You are sounding very biased.
Stephen Gardner, listen, in the wake of his injury, I feel like he deserved to be there. I don't know what it looks like if he was there, but I remember his training before. He would be on the medal stand. I could tell you that. It wasn't gonna be no. He was gonna be there. I could tell you that.
I'm not doubting that
That's
at all.
all I'm gonna say.
I'm not doubting that at all.
Now, which medal? I get it wouldn't have been bronze, but I can tell you, you would have put somebody out. Somebody getting pushed out. I'm just saying, I might sound biased to the 242, but I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Hey man, yeah, he's more than qualified to be on top of that podium. So
100%, man.
I get it. But once again, they in the same camp, man. So that's always it. Things always change, and I'm saying like in a bad way, but things always change when you realize your training partner is now your direct competitor. You know, like training reps, sets, things like that start to look different. Like your mind starts to change. You start to become more aware of like, I got to be on my P's and Q's. I got to be sharp. Because usually you always have the element of surprise as an athlete. Stevie could step up to a line and be in shape or not even be ready. But people are going to revere him for what he has already brought to the table, right? But that one person who's not going to revere you is that person that trains with you all the time. That person that knows your weaknesses, that person that knows what kind of shape you're in right now, that person that knows when to attack in the race against you. Like, that's when it becomes dangerous. That's why you find a lot of athletes who look for their own camps, because now my threat is in my house. I got to figure out how to still kind of navigate myself through the cloakness of mystery before I get to that starting line. So we'll see what happens, man. That's iron sharpen iron right there between Matthew Hudd and Stevie.
Yeah, you're right. Moving on to that women's 400. We got Queen Polino, we got Nasser, and we got Kazimat. In which this was a very impressive 400 meters with the three of them running 48. Third place was 48 seconds, right? Which is crazy because usually you don't 48 seconds and you got third. It's
usually crazy. A very steep drop.
Yeah, very steep, but all three of them ran 48. Polino reigned supreme the whole year. She reigned supreme the whole year. Undefeated. She didn't lose a race this year. I'm gonna sound biased again, but I gotta do it, man. This is the return of Shanae Miller-Rebo.
Shanae Miller-Rebo.
Listen, I feel like she could upset the medal stand. I do feel like she could upset the medal stand. I do think the other women are great, but I do think there's someone else that could upset that whole medal stand too. And that 400 meter hurdler, Sydney McLaughlin-Aroni.
You talking about if she drops down?
If she drops down, and there's whispers that she goes back and forth, right, next year. There's whispers that she goes back and forth, right? If she does this, if she drops and she says, all right, this year I'm going to just try to run the 400, this will be an epic race between those few. Now, outside of being injured and if Sydney dropped down, the newcomer who I see is Rashidat, right? Yeah. I'm a Rashidat fan. I love Rashidat, right? I think Rashidat from Ireland, she definitely is coming along, who's also coach down there in Texas. You know what I mean? I think she comes along, but the silver and bronze medalists are going to be hard to get by, to get them off. Nassar is going to be a hard one. She runs that first 200 so hard. You either go with her or you die. Either go with her.
Thanks.
And Kazimak is super strong. So I don't know. It's going to be hard to move those two. But the one that to me is going to be hardest to move is Polino. It's because like she just has been so consistent. I feel like she only, to me, if you watch all her races, she never really runs right through the line. She's only running to win. She's not running to dominate, decapitate. She's not running for like a super fast time. Like she comes across the line, and that's why I said if her and Sydney raced in Brussels, that whole race looks different because she would run to win. You know what I mean? She's not going to run to say, she's going to run to beat Sydney. Sydney's going to look like she's running for a time, and she's running to win. So that's why.
I agree 100% with that for sure. I just want to see that race, bro. I want to see that race. Line up 2 races right now. I need Gabby and Sharika, and I need Paulino, and I need Sydney. Like those 2 races right there, I would be a happy man in 2025. Like,
nah, I think I don't know if we want to go into like the other races or if we want to save them for our next show. But the next thing I want to talk to is how important is indoors next year for any of those competitors? Do they do that? Indoor Worlds is next year in, I think, China?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in China. How important is it to any of our top competitors or medalists or finalists to do indoors next year, being that World Championships is in September, like mid-September at that?
I'll use Fred as an example. I think Fred would actually benefit from running a couple of 60s. Because I think the part of his race where you can watch him throughout the race and you know that he's about to win because he did something right within his drive and transition or transition to acceleration. And then when he does not hit it right, you know that he's going to falter from transition to acceleration, right? So for him, it's like almost just exactly what Noah did, which is practice on his start, practice on his drive and transition and acceleration, and then drop his time lower. I think that's what helped make Noah a really good 100-meter runner this season. And for Fred knows how to get the job done. But if Fred fixes that one little thing from his transition to acceleration, like he's going to be that guy in 2025. So I think for him, a 60-meter campaign would actually be good for him.
I think so too. Does it make sense for Coleman to go back?
I think so. I mean, you're the defending world champion for what, right? This is what you're known for. You're the starter. You're the king of that realm. You have the fastest 60-meter time of ever, the 2 fastest ever. So I think it's going to be calling him. You know, he's in a camp now that with Dennis, we both know that Dennis is the kind of guy he'd be like, you know, the big picture is outdoors. So he always tries to talk his athletes out of running indoors. It don't even matter if they are gunning for the goal. He'd be like, we can, but we don't have to. But if you want to, go for it, right? So he did me that way. He did he did JV in that way as well. But he's like, hey, all right, cool. That's out the way. After March, April, you ain't even think about out indoors. But I think for Coleman, he just needs to get back to where he's comfortable. So he's a comfort runner.
I don't think it makes sense for him. I don't even think he's worried about indoor worlds next year. Because that is what he's known for, he wants to get the rest of it right. He wants to get back to his 2019 reign supreme. He wants to get back there. He knows he has a coach with the knowledge to get him there. And I think with him and Dennis linked together, they do that. I don't think we see him indoors this year. I don't think we see him at all.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think he's going to concentrate on the big picture. And that's where he's going to be. For women, the world champion, does it make sense for the Olympic champion to go back?
No. No. No, bro. No. There's no reason for Julian to really run the 60 meters? There's no reason. Like, she's ascended to a different level. So it isn't like she's just a medalist at the Olympics. Like, she's the gold medalist at the Olympics. I think she should focus on the 100 and the 200 because we don't know what the 200 is going to look like coming up. And that's going to be a dogfight for her, right? And like you said, running indoors is going to make your season even longer. It's going to tax you. I've been there before. By the time you get towards the Olympics or World Championships outdoor, like, you're going to be tired because you've been sprinting and running since December, you know? So I don't see why it would be beneficial for her. When I ran my indoors, I ran 2003. I got my gold. Came back and did it in 2012. Talked Dennis into it. Got my gold. I was cool. You know what I mean? I don't think it's something that it's a necessary thing you consistently have to do. And you have to, like, say, this is a badge of honor that I'm wearing. You know, you accomplished it. It's like climbing a certain mountain for the first time. Do you need to climb it a second time? You good. There's other things you can conquer now.
Yeah, so somebody who I would like to see do indoor worlds or do more indoor, because I feel like her start is like fierce. Her start is definitely underestimated for her to be so young. Tamari Davis.
Yeah.
I'd love to see her.
Yeah. I remember Tamari didn't have a start. I'm like, oh, well, look at your start now, girl.
Listen. It's highly underestimated. When I looked at some of the charts from 2022 USA trials and 2023 USA trials, through 60 meters, she was leading those races, bro.
Yes.
She was leading those races. You know, by the numbers, she was leading. You know what I mean? Well, that I'd love to see, you know, and then we don't know what happens, you know, if Aaliyah Hobbs doesn't cramp in that race. You know, she cramped at Worlds, indoor Worlds, and they had to wheel off the track, you know, a freak thing. So who knows what would have happened? Would we be looking at Julian as the gold medalist? We don't know because both of them ran 6'9", 6'9". You know, it would definitely be a dogfight.
Yeah.
But definitely I'd definitely love to see Aaliyah Hobbs back at indoor Worlds, you know, to finish what she started. You know what I mean? I feel like after a season, she's had some rest. For her to try indoor, I don't see why not.
I agree.
I don't see why
she
not.
usually drops really good numbers outdoor when she does do an indoor season. It keeps her sharp. So I would like to see her healthy, go out there, get the job done. So that's what she's good at. We know when the season starts and it's indoors, we be like this. Where Leah at? Where them 60s at? Her and Briscoe. We be like, where Leah and Briscoe at?
Hey, yeah, they be out there tag teaming people, boy. they be out there doing it. But you know, we want everybody to definitely like stay tuned, man. We gonna have like talking about our future collegiate seasons coming up, man. Talking about our collegiate athletes. Because even though we spoke about the pros, there's always a collegiate athlete that jumps in that mix and messes things up. So, speaking of that, athletes that turn pro, who do we think is going to have the best pro season? I'm going to throw a few names out there and you let me know what you think.
All right.
Christian Miller, what is this pro season? Because he forgoed his eligibility. And he's a professional track and field runner. I think so far he has a deal with Oakley. I don't see any heirs of any shoe brand, but I mean, he might have a deal, but I'm not sure. But I know he is going to be running professionally this year.
I think his first year is going to be, from his age, it's going to be a successful year because of his age. I think him stepping into the big dog arena, like, you can't just run a 9 here or just a 9 there. Like, you're consistently, if you're going to be at the level you want to be at, you got to consistently be running those kind of times. And those guys go out there and run a 9.96 fairly easy, you know? So I think he'll have a good season because of his age. Seriously. I just have so many question marks. Like, where are you training? Who are you training with? Who's coaching you? Who's representing you?
I think he's still being coached by his high school coach.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do have an agent. You know, they definitely is going to need some guidance as to the ropes of how he would travel overseas and how things could be very uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You're not in your comfort zone once you travel to these other countries. You won't have the warm weather. There won't be, you know, what you think, time delays, time differences, you know, homesick, being away home for 2-3 weeks. You know, it's going to be a little different. It ain't like going to Penn relays. Like,
it's going to be a really big change. That traveling internationally for the first time as a rookie, especially as a teenager, that's the beast right there. Jet lag, eating foods you're not used to eating. Now the people that you looked up to and you were chopping up and talking with them, and they were inspiring you and wishing you well. Now they're the same guys you about to line up against, and they gonna want blood. They gonna want to beat you because none of them gonna want to be beat by a teenager. You know, so now you gonna have a target automatically on your back to where they got to make sure they beat you, and that's not a friendly entrance into the professional world where people are going to want to use you as a stepping stool to make sure that they stay above, you know, and stay in the pack.
Facts. I like. He has the highest upswing though because he's so young. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to be good right now. You know what I mean? And everybody's going to be looking for him to be good around 2028. But right now, he doesn't have much to look for. Another young lady, I think her eligibility has ran out. I'm not sure too much of her. I'm a fan of her, even if she didn't know. Chassia Sears.
Yeah, Sears. Go Vols.
What do you think this season brings for us? She still has the third fastest time this year at 10:77.
Man, I would love to see what would happen if she didn't get injured.
I think she would love to see that too.
Yeah, you're right. I think we all would love to see that for sure. For her, I just like to see. Obviously, she's with a good training program. I don't know if she has. Does she still have eligibility?
No, I think she's up.
All right, okay.
I think that was her last year. Was last year, which just sucks.
It does, but we've never seen this before. We've never seen an athlete go out and drop a 10-7, and then they get injured to a point where, like, you don't see them. So it's like, what are we going to see next year? Are we going to see a very similar Sears, or even better Sears? Or are we going to see a Sears who's kind of missing the mark a little bit? You know, because now she has to acclimate to professional training, which is way different from collegiate training. You know, with the collegiates, it's like we want to make sure we're running you into shape, so then you could peak at the right time. But also at the same time, now training is way more critical, way more important as a professional athlete. Because when that curtain goes up, you can't run yourself into shape. People are going to see what you're made of on that first race. And then a lot of me pro boys are going to be like, yay or nay. You look good, you don't look good. You know, so I want to see exactly how that kind of unfolds for her. You know, love to see her back at it. I think the professional realm will be good for her. She has a good head on her shoulders. She's God-fearing and she's passionate about running. So you want to see people like that win for sure.
I got two more for you, and we're gonna wrap it up. Louis Hinchliff.
Louis a goon. Louis a goon, bro. Louis a goon. Like, he's a quiet goon. Because the way he came along into the University of Houston and really made his mark, right? Went out there, won NCAA's conference, and then he went over there, back to the UK, beat all the UK guys. Like, he's a top dog now, dog. In one season, he has become the top dog of his country. You know what I mean? So it looked good for him. It looked really good for him. And on top of that, obviously, you don't see a lot of British athletes that go into the collegiate system. You see a lot of them stay within the UK realm. They compete overseas more. But I think with Louis he did a good job of acclimating himself into a high level of competition when it came to NCAAs, which I think he took back home to the UK and went to the Olympic trials. And he just replicated what he already was doing, which is when that gun goes off, you fight from start to finish. And you saw that in him. He ran 100%, 100 miles per hour, and he broke through those finish lines every time. Like he wanted it. So him, he going to be a problem. He going to be ready to run. And I'm still trying to rack my brain of how Carl got this kid who is nowhere near his height running like Carl. Like Louis doesn't have the best start, but that wind up in the middle and how he flies to the end, it's like, whoa. Like he get it done.
Carl is came into his good coaching. That's what you call that, man. That's when you could translate something that you did into, and all people who ran fast can't do that. They can't teach somebody what they done. You know what I mean? Usually it's somebody who really studies, who's outside of the sport, who really breaks it down. But people who've ran fast usually can't really translate, hey, this is what you need to do. And a whole format of coaching. You know what I mean? Like they can give tips and trips, but not the whole, he's running the whole program. He's running the whole show.
Yeah.
So
he's running the whole show.
Hats off to Carl Lewis.
Absolutely.
Mackenzie Long, last one. Mackenzie Long. Mackenzie Long.
I think Mackenzie Long's going to be good this year coming up. And why I say this because she still has that same coaching system she had. Her coach moved down to Florida. She's moved down to Florida with her coach to Gainesville. And so it's not like she has to readjust to a whole new coaching system. Same system. She has trust with that coach. And they're going to I think they're going to do really good things this season coming up, man. Last season was for her mom. I like to see what this season coming up is going to be. Is it going to be something that's going to will her back to the top again? Or is she ready to dominate and just go on them dog fights and just beat people? So what you think?
Man, I think Mackenzie's going to be definitely great. I mean, she still has with 1091 and 21, the way she's done. I just think for a lot of them, she's in a good training group. I mean, she's going to be up there with Grant Holloway,
Arian
Knighton, Fahnbulleh, you know what I mean? So that training group is going to be really, really, really solid for her. She's dealing with people who knows the ropes, so they could probably walk her through the ropes and what she needs to do, when she goes overseas and everything else. So I think she's in good hands, man. And that coaching system with Mouse and her coach that went there, I think that she's going to fare out pretty good. I think for most things for her, she's just going to have to stay healthy. You know what I mean? That's going to be most of the newer athletes thing, because you have to train hard in the fall to run fast in the spring because you can't run yourself into shape. So let that be a note to all the people who are transitioning, who we didn't name, who've turned pro this year. No disrespect to you guys, but make sure you train hard in the fall to run fast in the spring.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
What you think about, since we on that subject right now, Quincy, young Quincy. You see
did he turn pro? I seen him on college visits.
He's on college visits. That's all I'm going to say.
I seen him on college. He's not turning pro.
What would be a really good game plan for him? Because a lot of people are saying he should go pro. Some people are saying he should go to college. What's your thoughts on it?
Once again, this is
a tough
just
one, right?
It's based on my opinion, because what happens is when you're that young, and I've seen it happen to someone before who was a child prodigy. The the people who you look up to, they're cool with you as long as you're not a threat to food on their table. They're going to encourage you. They're going to wish you along. Yeah, man, this is great. But once you become a threat, no longer. They understand, hey, Playboy, this breakdown, this what, 10, 8, 6, or 60, 25, 15, or 140K. This is what we fighting for. Don't talk to me. And my warm-up, do your own thing. You may have one or two that may be cool with you, but everybody ain't really messing with you like that. So you go from real deal, your idols, becoming your rivals.
Hey, the crazy thing is those introductions, bro. Like when you see them as, you know, the young athlete and you inspired by them, they be like, hey, what's up, man? What's up, little dog? Hey, man, for sure. Man. Hey, man, keep doing your thing. All right, man. Hope to see you up here soon, man. You keep focused. Keep focused, man. Stay motivated. You flip it. Young boy then went pro, right? Now you see him in the warm-up area. Hey, what's up, man? What's up? That pro athlete that you was giving you all that inspiration and everything, they're like, hey, what's up? All right, cool.
They give you that one little pound and keep that jump rocking.
All right, cool.
Do your thing, little man. Do your thing. You see what I'm saying? So I think there's a maturity level comes with returning pro. Like, I think I said it before, where I feel like that young man has to be in a real group to get him to understand what he'll be up against. You know what I mean? If you think it's gonna be really different for somebody like Quincy if he was to turn pro this early, you know, because now you go from, and I don't think only a child prodigy who've been in these shoes can really tell us, but this is just my thinking. You go from being first all the time to being in the mix to either closing the gate. And that does something to your mental. That does something to your mental because you, for the huge part of your life, I think he was winning since he was like 11 and 12. He has been the man all the way up until 16. So now he turns pro at 16. He just turned 16. And just as saying, I mean, what he's up against, not saying that this could happen to him, because he could beat the odds and say none of this happens to him. And he ends up in the mix or closing the gate, and that really starts weighing on him mentally. Am I good enough? Did I go pro early? Did I not develop well enough? You know what I mean? So putting him in with a coach, or that his coach would understand how that works on his mental, or a team around him with the agent where they could understand that his first years will be developmental. You know what I mean? I think it's definitely a big key for him. You know what I mean? That's why I think, like, for a lot of kids, like, the one and done it's a pretty good deal. You know what I mean? When you go to college your freshman year, you will end up running against some of these pros at some of these meets. You know what I mean? So you will line up and you can kind of get that feel of what it'll be like. You with your peers, and then if you go pro the next year after, it's not such of a off the cliff push, you know? But when you're in high school, man, that's a whole different type of giddy up. You ain't even went away from home yet. The boy barely could drive. You know what I'm saying? But these are just all of fears that are in the air. Like I said, he could defy all these things if he turned pro tomorrow and have none of these things happen to him.
I agree. It's a tough one. I think he should experience every level, a bit of it, right? Maybe a one and done could be in his sights. I mean, the time he's ran this season, he would have won NCAAs already anyway. He's ran faster than any collegiate athlete. So, but what does that look like once you get to college? Because you already know what college is. Every year it's going to be somebody new. And it's going to be somebody running fast. It don't matter what the event is. Somebody's going to be a breakout athlete who can be able to run those times. So I think it's a gamble. You know, he already has his persona. He already has that star quality because he's a high school kid who really went to the Olympics and won a gold medal. Like, you can't take that away from him.
Mm-mm.
But we at track and field, as we are fans, we want to see more of you. And, you know, we start to question when you start losing. Like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? You know what I mean?
We say it all the time. Track is all about what have you done for me lately?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. So I think for him is his sights should be in the near future. It should be going pro. If he does go to college, he can go. I think a 1 year, one and done kind of situation would put him in a good position to understand um, com- competing from a high school to even a college level, even a year, and then going pro. And then him repeating that process of going and making the world championship team is going to be something normal for him for the next couple of years. So then he won't have to have that big acclimation because of his age now. His experience is already going to be there. He's experienced the Olympics at a high level. He sat in the stands and watched the Olympic finals. Now that's computing in his mind to look around and say, look at those people watching the Olympics, watching this moment happening. He's not going to be shell shocked when it's his time to be on the starting line for the finals at the World Championships next year. He's going to be ready. He's going to be dialed in. He's going to be good to go. He already has sponsors backing him, so it's not like he's hungry for the money, but it's about setting up himself to have a legacy starting early.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few kids that went on and did it, man. Tamari Davis, she's done it. She's seamless. Arian Knighton, he's done it. You know what I mean? So, it's not foreign, but I definitely think that those two people were in situations to where they could be groomed along by people or a group of people who understood the best interest for them. You know what I mean? They wasn't just out there. They had good agents and good coaches who can further out their career, who knew what they were doing. So I definitely think it's going to be done. But we've had a lot of one and dones that went on to be gold medalists. Sydney McLaughlin, Shawnee Miller-Weibo. You know, some people who do the one and done, they go on and they do the best ever. You know what I mean?
True.
So it's just a roll of the dice on what'll be best for the kid, you know. But the mental health of the kid is always in my best interest. And the reason why I say that is because I remember I had a conversation with Dwayne Chambers in 2010, man, at Indoor Worlds. And he was telling me like how hard it was for him being a child prodigy, turning pro, and then being in the mix, like getting, you know, fourth or fifth, sixth. That was hard for him. Very, very, very hard for him. You know what I mean? He said it wore on his mental a lot. And I think he talks about it in his book. You know what I mean? So I just remember him talking about that, like being at that level and just not being able to handle not winning all the time when you knew you were the guy. So
it's hard. That's a hard thing. That's really hard when like you said before, like everyone around you telling you that you the man, you the next. And then when you step into reality, it humbles you because you're like, man, I thought I was next. Yeah, but next is like next, not like next day.
Yeah, man. So that's definitely tough. But those are great conversations. If those guys are watching the show or any of those people who watch the show, they want to come on and tell us about your experience, come on and let us know, man. You know, we're only talking from what we think or our opinions, but we invite you guys to come on and tell us about what your experience is. So I'll reach out and we probably could get one of those people on to talk about one of those child prodigies to talk about their experience in transitioning. So we'll see who I can come up with.
Let's do that.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode, man. Hopefully you guys join us again on our next episode. Oh, well, keep tuned. We got some interviews dropping with some special people. So definitely stay tuned to our channel. You know, stay subscribed, tell people about it. We have some dropping. Some of you have seen previews about it already, but stay tuned. Until our next time on Ready, Set, Go!